Tony D and Little Joan with a screenwriter's rant on SHTTL, a title that has no vowels in it, and it's a very serious subject about the big war in a small village in Poland. Smash like and subscribe. Thank you for liking and subscribing. Check out my books. The links are in the description. Comedy horror in South Jersey. It's the Pineys books 1 through 18, available at Amazon.com. Don't forget, Kindle Unlimited is free. You've never seen anything like this. I'm pretty sure we've seen a lot of movies about the war, but I'll set that aside. It does look kind of interesting, though, because, and I had to do this video twice because it's a little bit confusing. It's about a day in the life in the village in Poland. A SHTTL, normally spelled with an E, SHTTL. For some reason, they left off the E. I think it was a huge mistake. I think the normies will pronounce that in a different way. And it won't be shuttle. And this is a very serious movie. Definitely kind of Oscar bait stuff. You want the normies to have some kind of access to this. The title is the first avenue of access. Why would you title a movie this way? This is a war drama. It's supposed to be a serious movie. You don't want people balking at it right out the gate. You want people to go, oh, this is, I mean, you know what these movies are normally called, right? Schindler's List. Now, that doesn't sound particularly serious, but it is what the movie's about. 1917. War movies, All Quiet on the Western Front. These are titles of war movies. SHTTL could be, like the war against SHTTL. That would do it. The day before, because it's the day before the bad guys from Germany invade and basically wipe this village off the face of the earth. And that's actually what happens in the movie. So this is supposed to be taken seriously. You've made it an uphill battle for normies, especially young people. And that's exactly the kind of people you want to see this movie. This is exact kind of people who will see this movie when their teacher shows it because they're too checked out to actually teach. And they say, oh, here's a movie that's approved by the educational council or whatever. And they'll show the movie in class. That's what they used to do when I was in high school. And you know what, the kids laughing at it? You know what they're going to call this movie. I'm not going to say it. It's SHTTL. It's normally spelled with an E. I found out in the description on Rotten Tomatoes. Why wouldn't you put in the E? If I was the distributor on this movie, I would set the filmmakers in my office like, what are you doing? Do you want people to laugh at this movie? Because that's what's going to happen with this title. What is it called? Oh, it's called SHTTL. That's how it's pronounced. Put the E in it. Oh, no, I don't want to put the E in it. I'm a too important filmmaker. Just put the E in it, or I'm not going to distribute it. And why do you have to capitalize it? It's an important movie. You want to give it an important name. Part of the problem is there's so many war movies. A lot of the good titles are taken. But, this isn't a good one. Now, I read the synopsis already. Basically, this man is about to get married, but the invasion's happening. So I assume the story hinges on their love story, which is a good way to hinge the movie because that is something I can get behind, right? I can say, oh man, I hope he marries this girl. I hope they both escape. I hope they both survive. I don't know if they do or don't. I'm guessing they don't. I'm guessing the girl doesn't survive. It looks that way from the trailer, but it's hard to tell. I don't watch a lot of these movies because they tend to be very depressing. I did watch Schindler's List because it was really good. This does look interesting, though, because it's a day in the life in the village before the invasion and then after. And in fact, I read in the synopsis on Rotten Tomatoes or somewhere, they're taking the set that they built, and it's a recreation of the village, or a village, I think, perhaps a typical village, not a specific one, and they're turning it into like a museum to, to teach about that era. So they're Ukrainians on the border of Poland and I guess Ukraine during Operation Barbarossa. And yeah, it looks like it's not going to be a fun time, but the love story can give you hope, right? It can end with, they both go their separate ways, but they both survive the war and get back together. And so even though they had a terrible time, the ending is like, oh, gives you hope. So first act, it's the village. He's getting married, but the war is coming and they know it. But they have their internal squabbles, which get exacerbated greatly because they know who's coming. And some people are siding with the bad guys from Germany in order to appease them before they get there, and others are just trying to survive. Some are fleeing or have nowhere to flee. Some mistakenly think they can reason their way out of this. And I'm not sure the guy on the right, I think he is Jewish, but he's not Orthodox, I guess, and so he didn't grow a beard. And maybe he's already joined the army to fight against the bad guys from Germany. I think he escapes at the end, but I didn't see the girl with him, so maybe she doesn't survive, or maybe she escapes and then he reunites with her later or something. I hope. But would I see this movie? It looks kind of depressing. So maybe I'd read a review first, but this is the kind of Oscar bait. Yeah, they might give an award to, but this isn't 1985 when people go, "Oh, it got an award, I got an Oscar, I'm going to go see it." Part of this is just going to be content. It's going to be listed on a streaming service somewhere, and it's just going to be a title. Maybe the movie poster, a movie thumbnail, and you're asking people to figure out what that title is in the seconds they flip through movies. Now, if they're watching war movies and they like movies about this era, sure, they'll eventually get to it, but you're making it an uphill battle. There's no reason to make it an uphill battle. The first thing you should have done is added the E, shtetl, so people would pronounce it correctly and they wouldn't make fun of it. School children are going to watch this movie in school, I assume, because it's a authentic, historical, educational movie, even though it's a dramatization. And without that E, the school kids are going to make fun of it. You know what they're going to say. So I would at the very least, put the E in it, and then, maybe add some other words. The war against shtetl. The last day of shtetl. If you have to include shtetl at all. But, yeah. I don't want to make fun of this movie because it's such a serious subject. I've read a little bit about it. Ukrainians really got horrible things happen to them during the war. They're Ukrainian, they're Jewish, and they're on the border of Poland. The Polish didn't have a good time either. So it's a, you know, why make it harder if you want people to see this movie? I'm not saying exploit the thing, but give it an appropriate title to what it is. Anyhow, that's it from me, Tony D, and Little Joan. Check us out on the green site, the orange site, and the black site for more videos. Saturday, I'll be at Halloween Hullabaloo. That's tomorrow from 10 to 4 in Lakewood at the Lakewood Historical Society. Right inside. Sunday, I'll be at the 13th Child Brewery from 3 to 7 for Beers and Fears. And then this weekend begins my 8-day odyssey of doing an event every single day. So that's going to be fun. And then ending with the Cranberry Fest next weekend. Hope to see you there. We'll see you in the next one.